Welcome everyone to the Indo-American Arts Council's annual literary festival. This year we celebrate our 6th year of bringing you authors, thought leaders, storytellers from around the world. Many of these stories emanate from the Indian subcontinent. We celebrate these voices that have been shaped by the Indian ethos and experience. Like never before, our collective shared experiences have globally changed our perspective on life forever. For our 2020 festival, we have invited our authors to take the stage to bring our people together through the art of storytelling. And today, we have an extremely special program that does that. Today's program is the official launch of Mr. Anupam Kher. I'll talk more about him and his new book, Your Best Day is Today. The program will be moderated by Mr. J. Shetty. I'm going to first ask our moderator, Mr. J. Shetty, to join us. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
I want to tell all of you about Jay Shetty. In one word, he's a phenomenon. A New York Times best-selling author, storyteller, podcaster, and former monk. He is on a purpose-driven mission to share the timeless wisdom of the world in an accessible, relevant, and practical way. Jay has created over 400 viral videos and hosts the #1 health and wellness podcast in the world, On Purpose. It is so topical, so timely, so relevant that I would urge you all to sign up for it. Today, Jay Shetty is considered as one of the most powerful people in the world with a vast social media reach, amassing 38 plus million followers and 8 billion views for his Making Wisdom Go Viral videos. In 2017, as one of the world's 30 most influential under 30, and he has won both the Streamy and Shorty Awards for Best Health and Wellness Creator of the Year 2018. All of you absolutely need to learn more about Jay Shetty, and you can do that by visiting his digital site, jshetty.me. Jay, we are so lucky to have you with us.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
No, please continue.
Yeah. And now, the main star of the event that Jay and I would like to welcome, our very own Anupam Kher.
Nice to see you, both of you. Thank you, Jay, for accepting to talk to me. The way Mr. Kaul has spoken about your achievements, I feel humbled. And I feel, my God, I hope my introduction is better than what he's spoken about you. But it's okay. I think I'm an actor and who is trying to be an author, but you are wonderful and I'm a great admirer of your work.
So I'm going to first give my personal introduction of Anupam Kher. If Helen of Troy was the face that launched 1,000 ships, then dear Anupam Kherji is the face that makes 1.6 billion people smile. 1.3 and 300 million in the US. Officially, he is the BAFTA Award nominee. He is a Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan National Award. Actor Anupam Kher currently is one of the lead actors on NBC's TV hit show New Amsterdam. He has acted in over 500 films and 100 plays 35 years. Most of these films are blockbuster films. And his play, Anything is Possible, is a life-changing experience. He has also featured in mainstream Hollywood films such as Silver Linings Playbook, Hotel Mumbai, The Big Sick, and has worked with directors such as Ang Lee, David O. Russell, Woody Allen, Gurinder Chadha, and the Wachowskis. He's also the former chairman of the Film Certification Board and National School of Drama and the Film and Television Institute of India. As an author, he was ranked 17th amongst the top 200 best global authors for his best-selling inspirational book, The Best Thing About You Is You, which has been translated in 6 languages and 20th edition. In June 2019, he was listed as amongst the top 10 social media influencers in the world, which also includes names like Dwayne Johnson, Jennifer Lopez, Will Smith, and Mark Ruffalo. Anupam Kher, we're so fortunate that you're launching the book on the inaugural eve of the IAAC Literary Festival. I now hand you over to Jay Shetty, who will moderate the book discussion with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. It is my great honor and pleasure and privilege to host this wonderful conversation with Anupam ji. I was mentioning to him slightly earlier that I've been a lifelong fan watching his movies. I think Mr. Rakesh ji forgot to mention his London fans and UK audience, where I was born and raised. There's a huge, huge following for Anupam ji there. I remember going with my mother and my father to go and watch movies together all the time that you were starring in, and you brought us great joy as a family in so many of the characters you play. And then when we started connecting digitally, I think it was maybe a year or two ago as we started to message each other and connect.
That's right.
I was so grateful to be in contact with you. So this is my honor, it's my privilege, and I feel very blessed to have this opportunity, not just because it's you, but because this work that you're doing, this book that you've written, the theme that you're writing on is so critical right now. It's so pivotal right now. And this book that you're launching, Your Best Day is Today, this message, which you've crafted over the last 8 months of the world we've been living in, the experiences you've had, the experiences we've all had, and to allow us into this intimate journey of the last 8 months or more that we've all been experiencing this, to invite us into is something I truly believe is going to help so many people. So thank you, first of all, so much for writing this book and giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Jay.
And I want to start off by asking you, when you wrote the title, Your Best Day is Today, how did this originate in a year where every day has felt like a lot of people's worst days?
So thank you very much for saying wonderful things about me, and I reciprocate. I told you that I'm a great admirer of how you formulate your thoughts and how great clarity you have at such a. I am not by profession or by nature an author. It's only something that I would like to say, and my life is my message in terms of whatever I've learned, how I brought up in a looked at life from a comical point of view. That's why like Life is Beautiful, that film where the father tells the son, this is all a game that is happening. But my first book, Best Thing About You Is You, because is an event, never a person. So that liberated me from a fear of failure. And I also felt, what is my strength? Because people try to make you feel smaller by telling you what you don't possess, what you don't have. And I need to draw my own strength. But the title of this book has an amazing story. We were very poor, and my mother used to take me and my brother to my school, my primary school. And she used to give us this small tiffin and she used to say it in Kashmiri to us. I will say it in Kashmiri. Mr. Kaul will understand, and so many people in the audience will understand. Azuk dochu se sarniko jaan. She used to say this, which meant your best days today. And it became a routine. Every day she will tell us, and when she will forget to tell us, and we'll say, Mom, but you did not say that today is our best day. And this book is dedicated to my mother. So I also felt that it's very important to realize, especially in pandemic and in lockdown, that we need to live more and more in present. We amass so much of it, we think about so much of the future. This is my 5-year plan, and this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to go for holidays. This is where I'm going to meet people. And this pandemic made us realize that we only need 3 things: our dear and near ones closer to us, essential commodities that we need, food and Wi-Fi. We need nothing else. We need nothing else. And every moment is important. Right now, me talking to you is so important because I'm learning so much from you. And if I don't say it to you, I don't postpone my joy for tomorrow. So for me, today is my best day. I can't think about yesterday. I can't think about tomorrow, what's going to happen, because somehow or the other, the whole world has experienced that you enjoy the moment that you are living in rather than postpone it. So that's where the title came from, my mother, and the book is dedicated to my mother. It says, let me read it out to you before I show you the cover.
Yeah.
It says, for my mother Dulari, who while dropping me to primary school repeated every morning, your best days today. I can't craft words. It has to come from within me. It has to have an experience that I feel. So that's how it came from.
It's a beautiful title and a beautiful reminder, and to hear those were the words of your mother to you every morning. What a special relationship, and I hope that starting today, a lot of mothers, brothers and sisters, and husbands and wives will share that with each other, and I hope that.
So I personally feel that we take life for granted. We take everything for granted. We take happiness for granted. Sadness is something that we thrive on sometimes. Happiness is something that we have to make a choice out of. We have to decide to be happy. I decided to be happy long time back when I came to this city with 37 rupees in Mumbai in my pocket and just dreams. Every day was miserable in terms of thinking like that. I was an educated actor. I was a gold medalist from drama school. But in Mumbai, at that time, hairstyle was much more important than talent. And this is a very dignified, bald look. But at that time, when you are losing hair, some go from here and some go from, and I was very thin. I was so thin that I could see through a keyhole with both my eyes. And I had the guts to be an actor. Means people used to tell me, assistant directors and some other directors, that why don't you become a writer? Means why should I become a writer? I'm a trained actor. Or why don't you become an assistant director? But actor, please don't even think about it. And there were days that I spent on the railway platform. I'm not trying to sort of romanticize my hardship days, but the only thing that kept me going because I had decided to be happy. When you decide to be happy, you see even that misery from a great point of view. I thought, okay, I'm going through this where I'm staying for every night for 27 hours on a railway platform. But when I become somebody, I will talk about this story. And that's exactly today. I'm telling you about a story which at that time was my miserable days, lack of dignity, humiliating experiences. So when I came to suddenly the shooting of New Amsterdam was interrupted and we had to finish at the 19th episode. Right from Newark Airport to Mumbai, the whole experience was as if I'm in a movie which is about a disaster movie. The people at the airport in Newark, there was a fear lurking around. Even in the aircraft, I was the only passenger in my class with the mask, and the staff, the air hostesses and the purser, they were wearing this this PPT kit, and it's a 16-hour flight. And when I come to Mumbai, Mumbai is a thriving city. At the airport, it means I suddenly felt there was a sadness and a cold feeling that I was getting. And when I come home, there are a lot of people. My domestic help comes down. My good friend Anil Kapoor stays next to my house, and he comes out. I first go to his house, but I was told not to come here. My son came from his room, and we did this elbow shaking kind of a thing, and he also was a little skeptical that I've come from New York after a long flight. I hope he does not get. First 2-3 days, it was not something that I had experienced in Mumbai. And then slowly, I started feeling that I had never heard birds chirping in Mumbai. I had never heard silence in Mumbai. I had never seen a blue sky in Mumbai. I had never seen empty roads. So I started appreciating that rather than feeling depressed about it. So I started thinking that, no, this is some kind of a purgation, this is some kind of a cleanliness. There were men and people were inside their house, there were cages, and animals were roaming on the streets freely. So it was their time to feel freedom. Then I discovered that we have really taken this earth for granted. So I started feeling better about it, and I started breathing. And also my yoga teacher used to say, pranayam is all about noticing your breathing. Meditation is noticing about breathing. And I started noticing my breathing. Because we are otherwise in this world running fast nowhere. So I did that. And I had not met my mother for 8 months. And I suddenly could not meet her because I was quarantining. And then finally I met her for one day, that also from outside. And she told me that she doesn't feel hungry. There's a pain near her liver. And we took her to get an MRI done. Instead of the doctor telling me that her MRI is fine, he said, we've discovered she has COVID.
Wow.
And it was frightening. She's 84. And me and my brother had got, so automatically we thought we must also get it done. So my brother also got his MRI done, and I also got my MRI done. And my brother was positive and I was negative. I have never felt guilty in my life. The two of my family members closest to me, and then we got done for my sister-in-law. Now, how do I cope with it? Because my mother is helpless. She has just come for a first time out of this pandemic. She's come for a drive, thinking that her sons are taking for a drive, and she's getting some MRI done. And I'm telling her, now we'll have to take you to the hospital. And that also, she's saying, why isn't my brother coming? I said, no, he has to stay back. Again, this whole system of positivity about this decision to be happy, that everything will be fine, nothing to worry about, that had to be practiced. Thank God for the practice of 50 years that I had practiced to be happy. So I always believe that positivity and optimism is a choice you have to make. When I see your videos, when I see what you talk about, it's a choice you have made to be optimistic. That doesn't mean that you and I don't feel depressed. That doesn't mean that we don't feel setbacks. That doesn't mean that we don't feel sad. But we have trained ourselves, you more than I, because I'm also living different roles I'm doing. So that is what, then my deaths of my very dear friends, Rishi Kapoor, Irfan Khan, my other music director. Again, I started making some videos where I'm talking about them in a different manner. It's not escape. A lot of people say that maybe you're escaping. No, I am going through the sadness. I'm going through the self-pity, but then I have to survive. So these are the things that I have gone through. Now death has become it's so frightening that death in today's time has become so common that it stopped shocking us. So how do you recover from all this? Is that you find your own strength from within you, and you say that I have to live optimistically, and I have to decide that I have to choose my own happiness. So maybe that was a long answer to a small question, but I needed to go through it. I
No,
also want to tell you one more thing, that to me it's important to communicate, and because I don't want to sound intelligent, because that my answers will be crafted. I can't craft anything. I can only speak from what I experience.
yeah. No, that's a beautiful answer. It wasn't long at all. And it reminds me of some losses I've had this year. So we lost a lot of my family friends, my parents' age, back in London this year. And first of all, I was sharing this with you before, but I want to share again my love and condolences with you and your family for your friends and others that you lost and the challenges, because we need that love and kindness in the world today. But I lost one of my spiritual mentors passed away this year. He didn't pass away. Yeah, he didn't pass away from COVID, but he passed away from stage 4 brain cancer, which he was struggling with for 2 or 3 years. And he was an amazing, amazing human being. And there were two things that you learn from these experiences. One of them was that even though he had brain cancer, where he lost his short-term memory and he was losing parts of his long-term memory, this is to amplify your point of preparation. You said you were able to create this mindset because for 50 years you've practiced it. So for
somebody, it heals you. And that is the best way to go about it. Every day, every morning that I used to get up, and I still get up, I feel thank you, I've woken up. In our philosophy, when you moment you get up, you just do this thank you. It's a very instinctive reaction that we do. And even at night before we go to sleep, we say thank you. That the fact that I'm breathing, so thank you. I'm very sorry about your loss, but I can feel it. Another person who I worked with committed suicide, Sushant Singh Rajput, whose father I played in a film called Dhoni. That whole thing. So there was a sense of loss which was happening, and I didn't want to sort of feel mechanical about it, and it was every day was a little difficult, but the book became my therapy. I started writing about my experiences, and that started making me feel better. And today, when I was coming from Chandigarh to Mumbai, I was reading my book all over again. I said, Jay Shetty is talking to me today. I better know my book well. And I was very happy that I hope it makes a difference in somebody's lives. When Mr. Kaul was talking about the amazing fan following you had, because you connect with people. And you don't connect with people on a supernatural or superficial manner. You connect as a person to person. Connectivity with people cannot be faked. People who pretend don't like themselves. That's why they want to be somebody else. I like myself. I have my own faults. I have my own shortcomings. I'm sure everybody has them.
Me too.
People, when I made it in the first film that I did, I was 28. I played a 65-year-old man. I had a typical, we used to call them managers, we used to call them secretaries. He came up to me and he said, Mr. Kher, now you should wear a wig because no actor in India is a bald actor. I said, are you mad? If I wear a wig, I will constantly be thinking, I hope this fan is not going to go faster. I hope that I will be a petrified person. So the only thing that I've done is I've tried to be myself, and it gives me power.
Yeah.
Because when you are yourself, then there is nothing to worry about. And Mr. Kaul mentioned about a play that's based on my autobiography called Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai. Anything is possible. I talked about all the shortcomings that I went bankrupt in the middle of my successful career. I had facial paralysis in one of the biggest blockbusters while the shooting was going. The moment I spoke about it, the world had nothing to frighten me with. World tries to frighten you with what you're trying to hide. If you're not hiding, then they have nothing to frighten you with. So I think that is what the theme of this book is. That is what I'm trying to convey. And it's a very simplistic book. I feel very proud when I see your books at the airport, the one you wrote recently. Amazing. I feel very happy. I have got number of awards, but when my book was climbing the charts, I was feeling so thrilled. I will take pictures with everybody. I will stop at every bookshop and pretend. Means Anupam Kher, who has done 500 films, I will stop at the bookshop and say, do you have this book called Best Thing About You? And it will be so ridiculous. And then I will pretend to sort of do that. Then I say, this is my book. So I think it's the joy of coming from a small town is that you never lose your sense of wonder.
Yeah.
I still have, at the age of 65, a great sense of wonder. I still feel, how is it possible that you are in LA, Mr. Kaul is in New York, and I am in Mumbai, and we are still able to communicate?
Yes, absolutely.
But the communication is happening on a level of person to person.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm hoping that the same thing will happen with your best days today. I was thinking that your message, and by the way, I love what you were saying, that the writing the book was your therapy. I think expression and art are so much needed in our lives. And the good thing about them is that they're free for people to write, or for people to draw or paint or to think or to have a conversation or create music or to play an instrument. These are phenomenal therapies, and they're phenomenal healers in the world that are free for each and every one of us. And I love that you're saying that this book has just come from the heart to you, just what you're experiencing. And I think that's what we need to connect with right now, is to not push aside our human experience. Often we try to suppress our human experience because we think we should be experiencing something better, that something more. But actually, to experience the human emotion is far more the higher path, which is what you're encouraging us to do. So I really thank you for that. And also the idea that when we say your best day is today, when you start your day in that way and you end your day in that way, you're now looking for the best in that day. You're looking for these opportunities in that day. And I can, even in my life, you were mentioning my book. My book was meant to come out in April. It then got pushed back to September because of the pandemic. And then I didn't get to go. I had a world tour. I was meant to travel the world, and India was the place I wanted to come to so badly. I was so excited to come to India because I've always come to India spiritually, but I'd never come to India for any of my work. I've never come to India for my career. And so I was so excited to come to India. And then I didn't get to come, but I realized, and this is a message from your book, that I could practice my purpose and service from anywhere. I wasn't limited by the world we live in, that still I could find a way to serve and be grateful and live my purpose and help people because of the internet and because of Wi-Fi, as you said. There are so many other ways to support people. Tell us about, Anupamji, some of the...
Can I ask you a question, please? Before? How did you think of the title of your book, Think Like a Monk?
The way I thought of the title, so the title came to me around 4 years ago. So I lived as a monk for 3 years, which was from 2010 to 2013. And in 2016, when I started making videos and content online, and I started thinking about a book idea, and the idea came because I was fascinated by the daily principles and practices that monks had.
Yes.
And they included everything from gratitude to inspiration, to meditation, to yoga, to pranayam, to all of these daily habits that monks had. And then I looked into the science behind the brains of monks. And all the scientific studies from the universities in the United States show that monks have the happiest, most joyful, and most present minds in the world. And so I thought this science and these practices, if everyone can practice them, if everyone can learn to not live like a monk, but think like a monk.
Think like a monk. Wow, that's amazing.
To have that access. That's where it came.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. I love the title, and I love how you speak and how you communicate with people. Yes.
But I wanted to ask you about this. You write and you share in in your work, you talk about this wonderful sharing. I believe it's a poem by Kalidas, and it says, "Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence." I thought that was an extremely, extremely beautiful poem to share in your work. Where else have you found this fascination with being present? Where have you felt the most present in your life? Was it on a role you were playing? Was it on a flight you were on? Where have you felt that joy in being present in your life?
You know, when we were small, younger, we were 14 in a small room. We were 14 people in a small room. And my father was the only earning member, and he used to earn 90 rupees per month, which is $1.50. But we were happy. I never felt that we were miserable. Nobody complained. We had our own issues, family politics, etc. One bathroom, one towel for so many people. One day I asked my grandfather, I said, "Grandfather, we are very poor. Why are we happy?" His answer changed my life. He said, "When you are very happy, the cheapest luxury is happiness." It was as simple as that. And also the Hindi film songs of earlier, of 60s, when I was growing up. There's a very beautiful song. छोड़ो कल की बातें, कल की बात पुरानी, नए दौर में लिखेंगे मिलकर नई कहानी, हम हिंदुस्तानी. Means forget about past, forget about everything. किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है. The Hindi film music of Raj Kapoor, of old songs, helped us. That's why cinema in India is so much within people. How we are part of people's lives, because I have grown up listening to those songs. So that made me feel that today is important.
Yes.
Apart from my mother telling us today is your most important day, today is your best day.
I'm so glad.
It is. It is. When I finally made it and I got into, in my first week, I signed 57 films in first week, because I was so hungry for work. I said, I will do it every day to get up. And I also believe that life is 80% monotony and 20% excitement. We cannot live every day on an excitement. This thing, monotony. It is. My father went to the same office for 36 years, leave at 8 o'clock, come back at 7 o'clock as a clerk in the forest department. But he was happy. We make ourselves unhappy by thinking. My father also used to say that you can feel very happy by thinking how many people are worse than you, and you can feel very unhappy by thinking how many people are better than you. So I'm happy to be Anupam Kher, because my graph does not start last year, how much money did I pay for income tax. I still think that on the 3rd of June 1981, I came to this city with 37 rupees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to show you my book now, finally.
Please, please. I'd love to see it. This is the big moment. And wow, look at that. You look great. And you've got a big beard, I see.
Yes, I did a film for that. I had started growing growing this beard. So this is my baby, third baby, and it's a great thing that you have spoken to me. It will, I'm sure, reach millions of people, and it will make a difference in people's life. Talking to you has made a difference in my life. You have such a vibrant, clean smile. That's what is so nice about you. You are so real. That's what is so amazing about you. And I think I feel fortunate that you have said yes to this conversation. When I finish this conversation, I'll be a richer person.
No, you're
and I'm not saying it just.
I have one more question for you, actually, that I wanted to ask you, because I think this is important. It's that, and you've been so gracious and kind to me on this. I cannot wait to meet you and give you a hug. And I cannot wait for many more people to read your book, because I can only see it benefiting people. And I really hope that just the parents said to you, it's amazing how these such simple statements, these simple sentiments can actually become the most powerful training for the mind. But this is the first time you haven't worked in 36 years for 8 months. This is the first time you haven't been able to be externally creative on a movie set, or, you know, preparing for a movie. What does that feel like? Tell us about that, because that's 36 years is 36 years is longer than I've been alive. So it's an incredible amount of time to be working and being creative in your passion.
So I have actually not taken an off for 36 years. You will never find out that I went for a month for a holiday, because I had such frightening 3 years of one at the time when I was looking for work. I went through so much of humiliation or whatever it means, even though I was living it, but that I said I will never stop working. So I will create work if suppose I was not shooting. But for 8 months to not work was cathartic, was like yoga, was like pranayam.
Yes.
Please do that. What you wrote, please do that. So I just, I did not know, because I'm so used to working. I'm so used to going somewhere. I'm so used to wanting to do things. And here I was doing nothing. So I created work. I wrote this book. I felt the importance of pause in your life. In theater and in theater mostly, they say pregnant pause is very important. An actor, how much he can hold a pause, depends on how great he is as an actor. But in life, pause means rethinking. Pause means getting energy. I'm a completely different person. Completely different person in 8 months. Better person. I actually listen now. You know, but when you have so much to say, I made you listen to me so much, but I also listen to you. So that gave me, I'm not in a hurry to prove myself. You know, in this profession, in my profession, which is acting, you're constantly wanting to prove things to yourself also. I am my own measure of deciding how brilliant I am, but not necessarily externally now. I did a film recently called, in this pandemic, I made a film also, produced it and acted in it, called The Last Show. It's about an actor who without work.
Oh, wow.
And yes. And I did not depend on the tools of an actor. I just performed, and I had such great time. Means for the heck of the world, it's important that we go back to the kind of world. But I think the world that we will go back to will be a much better world now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe in that. So I did that. I made content. 10th grade. There are 56 boys in that picture. I almost called up 40 of them and reconnected with them.
Wow.
I believe that. Yes, I found my oldest friends and reconnected with them.
Yeah.
So that would have never happened.
That's incredible. I love that. That's such a great idea. I hope everyone who's listening and watching this will take a moment to do these. These are beautiful gems of ideas and exercises and practical things we can do today to actually make it different. And I think what you were saying before about how you think we'll move into a better world, I definitely connect with you on that, because I think our greatest challenge as humans is we always want to go backwards. We have this nostalgia of the good old days. And even though there is truth in the good old days, in the sense that there were wonderful experiences, if we're attached to these old memories, we can never create new, powerful experiences. It's just not possible. And so I'm with you on that. I truly believe that. And I'm so grateful that someone like you, with so much wisdom, so many years of creating entertainment that has served so many people and brought joy to so many people's lives, that you're leading this movement and this mission of helping people think differently. Because you reminding people of this in your today, I've laughed so much on this conversation. We're talking about something so important, but you've made me laugh like
Yes.
you know, a million times on this call, and I think that is your genius, that is your superpower, and that is your special gift that you have for all of us, that you can help us think about these very deep topics, but you can make us laugh along the way, and that is your genius and superpower, Anupamji, and I'm grateful
Thank
that
you.
you get to share it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful because I think the easiest thing in the world is to take yourself seriously, and the easiest thing is also not to take yourself seriously.
Yes.
You know, means if I was sitting here and talking to you, actually in cinema, when I internalize my emotion, what comes out of my emotion is the therapeutic. I will go mad. I will rather have a conversation where I'm looking for. I
Oh,
think in
wow.
Hindi. So
Oh.
while this is the longest I've spoken in English. Seriously. So I feel it's wonderful to be able to communicate. It's wonderful to be yourself. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
My father also used to say the easiest thing in the world is to make somebody happy.
Yeah.
I just follow that.
Wow.
I just follow that. Yes.
Well, whenever anyone asks me if I can speak Hindi, I always say that I speak Bollywood Hindi because I learned Hindi by watching Bollywood.
So can we do the last 2-3 lines in Hindi?
I mean, I'll try, but
Let's do that.
you're gonna hear my English accent through it the whole
Doesn't
way.
matter.
But
Doesn't matter. It will be. I will really cherish this conversation. तो क्या
Okay.
आप क्या सोच रहे हैं? आपकी किताब का नाम?
मेरी किताब का नाम मैं
Correct था. You were right.
मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि आपके साथ बात करने से मेरे दिल में बहुत खुशी आती है
Fantastic.
और मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ आपके लिए और आपकी बुक read what do you say read पढ़ने
You know the word abhari?
Yes.
That is in itself a golden moment in this conversation. Jay Shetty, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Shetty just now used the word abhari. और आभारी वर्ड इस्तेमाल करने के लिए अनुपम खेर जय शेट्टी का आभारी है. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So it's Bollywood. I think with a bit of practice, if I don't get to speak Hindi at all. So if with a bit of practice, maybe I would. Maybe
you and Radhika should decide that once in a month for 1 hour you will only speak in Hindi.
Yeah.
That's how I learned to speak in English. When I came to Mumbai, I discovered that in Mumbai everybody needs to be speaking English. That's how people take you seriously. So I wrote to my uncle, who was the only graduate in our family, and I said, Chacha, how do I learn to speak in English? Because I could write English, I could read, means I could read Chekhov to Tennessee Williams to Arthur Miller, but I couldn't speak. So he said the only way you can learn speaking in English is by speaking in English. Yes. So I decided that every day between 4 and 6, I will only speak in English. So between 4 and 6, all my friends used to run away from me. And that's how I learned to communicate. So just decide that you will do. It's so wonderful to be able to speak Hindi, and a language that I'm sure your forefathers did think about or did talk.
Yeah, just from watching Bollywood. That's how it came through.
That's amazing. The reach of Hindi cinema or Bollywood is so phenomenal. We connect hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I thank you again. I'm so deeply. I love how this has evolved. This whole conversation has evolved into this beautiful, spontaneous exchange, and my heart is filled with joy for this exchange. It's so.
And
rare.
I want to thank you and I want our listeners and viewers to know that it took us 1 hour to get connected because of some technical problems, and all three of us, Mr. Kaul and Jay, was patient enough to wait for 1 hour. So this conversation has happened after we were frustrated for 1 hour. Please keep this portion, because I want the world to know that kuch bhi ho sakta hai. Anything is possible, but if the hearts are pure and if the communication is truthful, then it will reach you, and we will somehow or the other find that path.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well said. And it was a joy. It's a true joy to do this. It's such meaningful work. It's what I said to you at the beginning, that it's not just because of what you've achieved and your amazing career and the hardship you've been through and all the challenges that you share in this book, your previous books, but it's also because this book is there to do such meaningful work, especially in this year. So if you've had a difficult year and you're watching this, if you've had a challenging year and you're listening to this, then I urge you, I compel you to please go and get a copy of the book, Your Best Day is Today. There can be no better mantra to live by. There can be no better motto to live by. When you repeat it to yourself, you'll repeat it to your children, you'll repeat it to your partner. Imagine everyone else will remind you of the same thing in your hard times. So I urge you all to go and grab your copy.
And when you come to India to finally promote your book, I'll be your official manager.
Perfect.
I will personally take you to the whole world and show you off to the world. Every event. That's a commitment I'm making to you today. Just inform me much in advance and I will do it personally.
Okay. We should do the same when you come to LA.
Absolutely, I will do that.
Yeah,
I will do that.
When you come to LA, we'll do exactly the same thing. So it'll be great. Thank you, Anupamji. Thank you so much. I'm so honored and grateful, and my heart is just filled with joy. You've made me smile and laugh more in this 1 hour than I have in a long time. So it's really.
Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Give my regards to your family. Say namaste to your parents.
I will.
And give my love to your lovely wife.
Yes.
And stay safe. And
yes,
it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I want to thank you for being so wonderful. It comes easily to you.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting you, and let's talk more. Yes.
And Anupamji and Jay, on behalf of IAAC, Shukriya, Dhanyavad, Asiba, thank you. And in Kashmiri, for you, Anupamji, Poshta. And I would only make one humble request. And Jay, if you can just pick up a copy of your book, just please get a copy of your book. And Anupamji, I would like the world to see a copy of you holding that last shot. I want the world to see how both of you, through your life work, not only make us smile, but you tell us that when the mind is overwhelmed by the world around it, the heart is always there. And when even the heart sinks, the Atma, the life energy is there. And you are showing us how to connect with it. This has been one of the greatest.
Can you take a screenshot of this picture?
Yeah, and send it to me as well, please.
Thank you so much, Kaul sir,
thank you so much.
This amazing opportunity. I want to thank everybody in Koshur, and I want to bless my friend Jay in Kashmiri, Orzu Aayat Bat. That's amazing, and thank you so much. I'm very humbled. Thank you. God bless you.
Right, you're the best. Thank you, everyone behind the scenes as well. Janak and Rakesh and everyone else who is behind the scenes. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye, Jay. Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, I'm Neeli Lakhani, IAAC Literary Festival Director. I want to thank you for joining our award-winning authors and their wondrous stories. IAAC is a 501c nonprofit. Programs like the one you just watched happen because of contributions from generous folks like you. Please donate to the IAAC so that we can support our artists and sustain our cultural programs. It is simple to donate by visiting the IAAC website at iaac.us. Learn about the insider benefits that membership gives you. On behalf of the entire IAAC board, stay safe and see you at our next event. Thank you.